Kelsey picked at her Caesar salad like she was bored of the whole planet. We were at Finley's Steakhouse, same booth we always sat in when we were celebrating something. And this was big. I just landed top regional distributor at my company, and we were rolling it into our engagement party. Whole banquet hall booked. Open bar, dinner, everything. She took a sip of wine, smiled like nothing was off, then dropped it. Oh, I invited Mitch to the banquet. I froze mid-bite. Mitch. I knew who he was, her ex from business school. For years, almost got married. I'd seen pictures once. Clean cut, smug face, too perfect smile. The kind of guy who called everyone buddy, and probably still used LinkedIn like it was Facebook. I set my fork down. Why would you invite Mitch? She looked up, blinked. Because we're still friends. He's happily married now. Mature. It's not weird. It's weird. Kelsey rolled her eyes. Okay. So you're jealous now? No, I said. I'm asking why my fiancée wants her ex at our celebration. That's not insecurity. That's common sense. She tilted her head and gave me that slow, practiced smile she used when she wanted to shut down a conversation without yelling. He's in our industry. It's just networking. Then invite his wife too, I said. What's her name again? That's when I caught it, the flicker. Her face didn't change, but something behind her eyes hesitated. She cleared her throat. Rachel. Rachel. I leaned back in my seat, just nodded. She went back to eating, like she hadn't just pulled that name out of thin air. I didn't say anything else that night, just paid the bill, kissed her cheek, drove her home. Then, back in my apartment, I pulled out my laptop and opened a browser. Searched Mitch Lawson on LinkedIn. Same smug photo. Still in marketing, still based in San Diego. Married. I found his Instagram. Tagged photos. One with a woman who was definitely not Rachel. Caption said, "Date night with my queen Dana." That name hit like a slap. 15 minutes later, I was holding her iPad. She'd left it charging at my place, still logged into her cloud. I didn't even have to guess the password. The lock screen lit up with a new message from Mitch. Still think about you when that song plays. I opened the thread, and just like that, the digging began. I didn't stop at one message. The thread between Kelsey and Mitch went back months. She'd changed his name to Mitch, old classmate. Like that would fool anyone. But the messages weren't subtle. Not even close. Remember our trip to San Diego? Still think about you when that song plays. Mitch, can't believe we let it go. Kelsey, maybe timing wasn't right back then. I kept scrolling. They'd been reminiscing, flirting, testing the waters. Then Mitch sent a photo of the beach at La Jolla. She sent back a heart. I sat there, reading it all on her iPad like I was watching a movie about someone else's life, except I was the idiot with the ring in his drawer. I screenshotted everything, backed it up to a private folder. Then I locked the iPad and placed it right back where she left it. I wasn't ready to confront her. Not yet. But the seed was planted. And I wasn't gonna let it rot. I opened Instagram on my phone. Mitch's account was open, public, of course. He seemed like the type. There she was again, Dana. A few shots from dinner, a concert, one where she was standing in scrubs next to a hospital sign. St. Francis Regional. San Diego. I looked it up. 15 minutes from his office. That woman wasn't overseas. She wasn't on deployment or on sabbatical. She was working a regular-ass job down the street. So who the hell was Rachel? I didn't use a burner account. Didn't play games. I messaged Dana directly from my own profile. Hi Dana, you don't know me, but I thought you should be aware. Your husband's been invited to a private banquet by my fiancée, who used to date him. You might want to ask him why. It was late, past midnight. I didn't expect a reply. She answered 2 minutes later. He told me it was a corporate-only event. No guests allowed. I didn't have to say much else. Just told her what I saw, what he said, how Kelsey tried to seat him near us. Dana stopped replying for a minute. I figured she might ghost me, or freak out. I didn't know. Then she came back swinging. I want to come. When's the event? I told her it was a big banquet for my company, and also kind of an engagement party. Is there a rehearsal? Yeah, a brunch the day before. Invite only. Family and execs. Perfect. Take me to that. Just like that. Like she'd been waiting for a reason. I asked if she was sure. She said, I've suspected something for months. I'm not walking in blind. I'll bring proof. We kept messaging for hours that night. She started sending me screenshots. Gym check-ins Mitch claimed were work meetings. Hotel confirmations that didn't match his calendar. Pictures from their shared credit card of gas stations in cities he said he never drove to. It was all there. Dana wasn't passive. She wasn't broken. She was pissed. And sharp. And the more we talked, the more it clicked. She wasn't after revenge. She was after reality. She wanted people to see the whole thing the way it really was. She asked me to confirm the rehearsal brunch details, the address, the time, the guest list. I texted her the info, and she said, Got it. I'll be there. Don't tell Kelsey. Don't tell Mitch. I didn't need convincing. I'd already seen enough. But hearing Dana lay it out made it real in a different way. Mitch wasn't just playing games with Kelsey. He was setting something up, and Kelsey was letting him. The next morning, I walked into work, smiled at my assistant, sat at my desk, and ordered an extra place card for the rehearsal brunch. Printed it myself. Dana Lawson, VIP guest. Kelsey stood in front of the living room mirror, holding up 2 different pairs of earrings like she was choosing between lives. This one's more elegant, but the other one pops in photos, she said. What do you think? I barely looked up. The first. She nodded, satisfied, and kept moving. She'd been like this all week, full of smiles, bouncing between outfit choices, speech drafts, vendor calls, and seating charts. On the outside, she was locked in bride mode. But every time she opened her mouth about Mitch, it twisted something in me. She brought the seating chart over one night and pointed to a table toward the front. I was thinking Mitch could sit here, with some of your senior reps. It's good networking. I stared at the chart. You mean right next to our table? She blinked. Well, not right next to. Just, close enough that he can mingle. I kept my voice flat. Why does Mitch need to mingle? Kelsey tucked her hair behind her ear. He's not just some random ex, babe. He's respected in the field. And he's coming all the way out for this. I didn't argue. Didn't even look at her. Just nodded like I bought it. She smiled and kissed my cheek, completely unaware that I already had screenshots of her messages saying, maybe the timing wasn't right back then. Meanwhile, Dana and I kept in touch almost daily. She didn't hold back. Every time Mitch gave her some weak excuse for being late or skipping dinner, she cross-checked it. He told me he had a conference call at the gym, she wrote one night. Sent me a selfie in the locker room. I just found the same photo from last fall. She started forwarding hotel confirmations, random cities, places Kelsey had mentioned in passing. She even found a message thread where Mitch was asking a buddy to cover for him if anyone asked where he was that weekend. We started piecing it together like a crime board. He's been planning something, Dana texted. She has too, I replied. Let's show up together. Rehearsal brunch? Perfect. It was the VIP meal meant for execs, board members, close family. Kelsey had picked a garden-style venue with string lights, white florals, custom menus. It was the warm-up for the big banquet. I told Dana I'd pick her up, told her what to wear, gave her the full guest list and warned her about the photographers. Oh, I'll look the part, she said. Trust me. Kelsey stayed on her high, never noticed my quiet. One night, she pulled me in close on the couch, draped her legs over mine. This is going to be the best weekend of our lives, she whispered. I kissed her forehead and smiled. Yeah, it's going to be unforgettable. Then I stood up, walked to my laptop and finalized the last RSVP entry. Dana Lawson VIP. I shut my laptop, grabbed my jacket, and told Kelsey I needed to swing by the airport to help a stranded colleague. She didn't blink, just said, okay, text me when you're close. She was already in her cream dress, hair curled, excitement bubbling. The drive to Dana's felt like a countdown. When she opened the door, I actually stopped breathing for a second. She looked like she'd stepped straight out of a magazine. Navy wrap dress, hair smooth and shiny, lipstick that wasn't trying too hard but landed perfectly. She slid into my car with a calm smile. "Ready?" I asked. "More than ready," she said, snapping her clutch shut. We drove in silence except for the soft hum of the radio. She kept her eyes on the road ahead, scrolling through her phone like she was checking a script one last time. I gripped the wheel, watching the venue signs roll past. My chest felt tight but steady. This was it. The garden room at the venue was already glowing when we arrived. White florals, gold cutlery, champagne glasses lined up like soldiers. About 40 people mingling. My senior reps, a couple of board members, Kelsey's parents, cousins, my boss. Everyone laughing, plates clinking. A little string quartet in the corner played some soft instrumental version of a pop song. Kelsey was standing near the entrance with a clipboard, directing staff like she owned the place. She looked up when she saw me walking in. Her whole face softened. That smile, wide, practiced, camera-ready. Then Dana stepped through behind me. It was like a switch flipped in the room. The air dropped a degree. Mitch, who had been at the buffet, froze mid-scoop of salad. Dana smiled, warm and bright. "Hey babe." Surprise. My flight got cancelled. Mitch's hand tightened on the serving spoon. "Dana." Kelsey's eyes went wide. "Dana? You're supposed to be in Germany." Dana tilted her head, still smiling. "That's what Mitch said. Except, I never left." Every whisper stopped. Forks clinked down. I stepped forward, put my hand lightly on Dana's back. "Everyone," I said, my voice steady but loud enough to carry. "Meet Dana, Mitch's wife. She's my guest today since Kelsey insisted on including Mitch." The room went dead silent. Mitch's face turned a color I'd never seen on a human. Kelsey's jaw tensed, her clipboard slipping against her palm. My boss raised an eyebrow. Someone near the back muttered, "Oh my God." Dana set her clutch on the nearest table and walked right up to Mitch. "You look surprised," she said softly. "Why? You told me this was a corporate-only event." Mitch started, then cut himself off, glancing at Kelsey like she might save him. Kelsey forced a brittle laugh. "Wow, this is unexpected." Dana looked her up and down. "I bet it is." The tension was a living thing. My cousin shifted uncomfortably. My VP pulled out his phone like he was checking an urgent email just to look busy. Kelsey reached for my arm. "Can we talk privately?" I stepped back. "No need. Everyone's here already." Dana moved past Mitch and picked up a champagne glass. "Beautiful setup," she said to no one in particular. "Really classy." Mitch muttered, "Dana, not here." "Where then?" she snapped, her voice low but cutting. "In Germany, where you said I was?" Kelsey's mom looked between them, confused. "What is going on?" I didn't answer. I didn't need to. The scene was writing itself. Kelsey tried again, her voice too sweet. "Honey, you're making a big mistake." Dana raised her glass. "No, you both already did." I watched Kelsey swallow hard, eyes darting from me to Mitch to Dana. The clipboard finally slipped from her fingers and landed on the floor with a dull thud. And that's when the real silence hit, the kind that happens right before someone finally tells the truth. Kelsey's mouth opened but no sound came out at first. Then she forced a laugh that cracked halfway through. "We're just friends," she told Dana, eyes darting around the room. Dana set her glass down, her nails clicking against the stem. "Friends don't send heart emojis at 1 a.m. or plan secret weekends." Mitch's voice was tight. "Let's not do this here." Dana tilted her head, smile gone. "Where then?" "At your next hotel." You could feel everyone's attention sharpen. Plates sat untouched, drinks halfway to mouths. My boss leaned back in his chair like he wanted distance but couldn't look away. I turned to Kelsey. "Why did you lie about her name?" She squared her shoulders, tried to meet my eyes. "You're being paranoid." That was it. I pulled my phone from my jacket pocket, opened the screenshots, and read a few lines aloud. "Still think about you when that song plays. Maybe timing wasn't right back then. I held the screen up so she could see her own words. That's not paranoia. My VP coughed into his fist. My cousin leaned toward my aunt and whispered, "Holy crap." Dana picked up her mimosa again, took a slow sip, and said, "This salmon's incredible." Somebody at the far table laughed nervously. My aunt actually raised her glass. "Well, here's to honesty." Kelsey's dad stood up halfway. "What the hell is going on?" No one answered. Dana set her glass down again and faced the room like she was giving a presentation. "Here's what's going on. Mitch has been having an emotional affair with Kelsey. They've been sneaking around, planning a reunion at this banquet. He told me I wasn't allowed to come. She lied about my name to make it look cleaner. This isn't speculation. This is evidence." She tapped her phone like a gavel. Kelsey's face flushed crimson. She reached for me. "It's not what it looks like. I'm figuring things out." I stared at her. "You were going to decide at the banquet if you still loved me?" Her lips trembled. "I just needed clarity." "No," I cut in. "You needed cover." Big difference. Mitch finally spoke, his voice low and panicked. "This is ridiculous." "We're not." Dana snapped. "Shut up. I have your gym selfies, your hotel bookings, your credit card charges. Want me to read them out loud too?" The room murmured. My cousin pulled out his phone like he was texting someone. Kelsey's mom grabbed her husband's arm, whispering furiously. Kelsey tried again, her words tumbling. "It was just, we were talking. Nothing happened." "Nothing?" Dana raised an eyebrow. "Then why did you text him about our spot in La Jolla?" Kelsey's eyes flicked to Mitch. He wouldn't even look at her. I scrolled further and read another message. "If you nod during your speech, I'll know you want to leave with me. That's what you wrote, right?" Gasps went around the tables. My VP stared at the ceiling like he wanted to evaporate. Kelsey's dad's voice boomed. "Kelsey!" She put her hands over her face, then dropped them. I wasn't." Dana sat down and cut into her salmon again. "This is the weirdest brunch I've ever been to," she said. My aunt clinked her glass against mine. "To honesty," she said again, louder this time. Kelsey stumbled closer to me, her voice breaking. "Please, can we go somewhere private?" I stepped back. "You made it public. Not me." She turned toward her parents, but they just stared. She turned back to Mitch, but Dana's glare froze him in place. "I was lost," she said finally. "I was testing myself. I wanted to see what I felt." "While planning an engagement party?" I asked. She tried to speak, but nothing came out. Dana wiped her mouth with her napkin, stood up, and looked straight at Kelsey. "You don't get to call it testing. You get to call it what it is, betrayal." Kelsey's shoulders slumped. Mitch stared at the floor. All the sound in the room flattened again, like the moment after a crash when everyone's still stunned. I slipped my phone back into my pocket, straightened my jacket, and let the silence sit there until it felt like stone. I reached into my jacket and pulled out the envelope. Thick, sealed, labeled with one word: expenses. I dropped it onto the center table. It landed with a dull thump. Everyone jumped a little. Kelsey blinked at it like it was a bomb. "That's every receipt," I said. "Venue, catering, flowers, rentals. Total comes to $14,600. I covered everything." Her dad's face twitched. He opened his mouth, then shut it. "You said we'd do things the traditional way," I added, looking right at him. "Man pays for the ring, bride's family pays for the wedding events." I didn't press it because I wanted it to feel right, so I covered the bill. I looked around at the garden brunch Kelsey had obsessed over for weeks. "But now banquet's off. If your family wants to use it for another celebration, birthday, retirement, whatever, just send me the check." Silence. Then Dana stood up next to me, her expression calm but final. She turned to Mitch. "I'll be moving forward with divorce. You'll hear from my lawyer." Mitch didn't respond, just nodded once, eyes locked on the floor like he was trying to fall through it. Kelsey's mom covered her mouth with one hand and started crying. Her brother stood stiff, arms crossed, jaw clenched. Kelsey stepped forward, voice trembling. Please don't do this. I choose you. I'm choosing you now. I laughed. Couldn't help it. Not loud, just one dry, sharp exhale. You choose me now? I asked. After you got caught? She opened her mouth, reached toward me. I made a mistake. I got confused. But I love you. No, I said. You loved the attention. You loved having a backup plan. I was your safety net. I swear. You planned a whole what-if scenario behind my back. You were going to stand in that banquet hall and decide in real time if you still wanted me. That's not love. That's theater. Her hand dropped to her side. Her mascara was starting to smudge. Kelsey's dad finally stepped forward, voice low. Son, maybe we can. I'm not your son, I said. And I'm not your future son-in-law either. He swallowed hard and looked away. Dana picked up her clutch and gave Kelsey one last look. You're lucky he found out now, she said quietly. Before the papers. Before the vows. Kelsey didn't respond. Her shoulders sagged. And for once, she had nothing rehearsed to say. I turned to Dana. Ready? She nodded. We walked out together. The sound of heels on concrete and stunned silence behind us. The next morning, she showed up at my apartment in a trench coat and heels. Nothing else underneath. I didn't even open the door all the way. Are you serious? I asked, already exhausted. Kelsey smiled like the night before never happened. I just want to talk. Can we talk, please? She slipped the coat open slightly. I miss you. I hate how things ended. I held the door. Put your clothes on. Go home. She pushed forward, planted her hand on my chest. We're engaged. We can work through this. No, we can't. It's over. She dropped the seduction act in a snap. Her smile twisted. You're being dramatic. Controlling, actually. I'm allowed to have friends. You lied. You cheated. Then you tried to act like it was a networking strategy. Kelsey's eyes narrowed. You think you're so perfect? You humiliated me. You dragged this into a public scene. I stepped back and shut the door in her face. Didn't slam it. Just shut it. That's when she went public. A couple hours later, I got a notification. She'd posted on Instagram. Black and white photo of her crying. Captioned, imagine getting dumped by someone jealous and toxic. All because of a harmless friendship. Some people can't handle strong women. I didn't respond, but Dana did. Right there in the comments. Harmless? You planned a romantic reset with my husband. At someone else's engagement event. Then came the screenshots. Just enough to break the dam, no overload, just enough to land the punches. Messages. Photos. A few receipts. Nothing cruel, just honest. Kelsey tried turning off comments, but it was too late. People were already screen recording, sharing. My friends started texting. Yo, did you see Kelsey's post? And Dana's comment? Bro, this is insane. A mutual friend tagged me in a group chat. Is this true? I sent one word. Yes. Then I left the chat. The rest took care of itself. Mutual friends stopped reaching out. Her bridesmaids group quietly dissolved. Someone took down the wedding Pinterest board. Kelsey's own boss unfollowed her. I heard from a friend at her firm that HR called her in just to check on things. Awkward. Then, 2 nights later, I got a call from Kelsey's mom. She didn't say hello, just dove right in. Why would you make this so public? I leaned back in my chair, phone to my ear. I didn't, I said calmly. She did. The second she planned the whole thing in public. There was silence on the other end. Then a soft sniffle. We didn't know. We really didn't. I didn't answer. I just hung up. That was enough. The DMs started piling up a few days later. Most were quiet. Some were messy. A few came from Kelsey's friends, the ones who hadn't dropped off completely. She knows she messed up, one said. But please don't ruin her career. It's already bad. I kept it simple. I didn't lie. She did. She planned to test our engagement like it was a pop quiz. This isn't personal anymore. It's just truth. After that, it went silent again. About 2 weeks before the date the banquet would have happened, I got a call from her dad. Number popped up while I was eating takeout in front of the TV. "Hey," he said, voice stiff. "We'll reimburse you. Just send over the invoice." I didn't argue. Just emailed him a copy of everything: deposits, catering, rentals. Total: 14,600. 2 days later, a check arrived by courier. His name in the corner. No note. Fine by me. While that was wrapping up, Dana was making moves. Her lawyer didn't waste time. The guy came in like a sledgehammer. By the end of the month, Mitch had moved out of their house, her house. Dana's name was on the deed. He left behind half his savings and that ugly-ass silver sports car he loved so much. The one he always said was vintage, even though it screamed midlife crisis. Then Dana found his second phone. The real phone. The one he hid in the lining of his gym bag, which, by the way, had never been to a gym. She called me the night she found it. I put her on speaker. I found it. His backup. Full texts. Deleted pics. Calendar entries. Even a folder named "Stay Cool." Couldn't believe it. "You serious?" "Oh yeah," she said. "It's the entire affair blueprint. Plans, hotel bookings, backup lies, and this one gem." She paused, then read aloud. "If you nod during your speech, I'll know you want to leave with me." Another pause. Then she read the reply. "Let's see how I feel in the moment. Kelsey." I sat back in my chair and stared at the ceiling. "Jesus Christ," I muttered. Dana just laughed. Bitter and sharp. They weren't subtle. Just stupid. We didn't need to expose that one publicly. It was enough that we knew. She sent me a few screenshots in case I ever doubted what had happened. I didn't, but I kept them. Insurance. The day the banquet was supposed to happen, I was waist-deep in a lake with a fishing rod in one hand and a cold beer in the other. I'd woken up early, met a couple of my buddies, and we drove out to Lake Jennings. No tucks, no speeches, no nerves. Just the hum of water, quiet talk, and laughter that didn't feel forced for the first time in months. We didn't even catch much. Didn't matter. Afterward, we hit our favorite steakhouse. Cheap whiskey, thick-cut ribeyes, music low enough to ignore. Nobody asked about Kelsey. They didn't need to. Everything had already been said. While we were eating, my phone buzzed. One of the guys glanced at it and smirked. "Dude," he said, "you're not gonna believe this." I leaned over and looked. Kelsey. Full glam. Hair curled. Face done. Standing in front of the empty venue in her full formal gown. The same one she had picked for the real thing. Caption: "The celebration that never was. Still believe in love." I stared at the screen for a second, then laughed so hard I nearly choked on my steak. "She showed up?" one of the guys asked. "Oh, she showed up." The comments were already piling up. People weren't being kind. "This is sad. Girl, let it go. Is this a Hallmark audition? You embarrassed yourself enough already." But the knockout punch came from her own sister. "Please stop. You're embarrassing all of us." I didn't like the girl much, but damn, credit where it's due. Then Dana posted. Photo of her sitting on a balcony somewhere. Legs crossed. Same dress from the brunch. Champagne glass in hand. Sunglasses on. Not smiling, just done. Caption read, "Cheers to closure." It was clean. Classy. Final. I checked Mitch's profile out of curiosity. Last post was weeks old, gym selfie. No caption. No new photos. Someone tagged him in a comment. "Didn't you used to be married?" Rumor was he'd moved back in with his mom in Chula Vista. Lost his job. Still trying to explain it all like he was the victim. I didn't care. I was done keeping track. By the time we paid the check and stepped out into the parking lot, the sun had dropped low and my shoulders felt lighter than they had in a long time. No banquet. No cake. No staged toast or fake promises. Just good whiskey, real friends, and the kind of peace that doesn't come with spotlights. 3 months later, I was sitting on my back porch, feet kicked up, reading a text from Dana. She just sent a picture of a guy holding a giant plate of oysters with the caption, "First date. Allergic to shellfish. Pray for him." I sent back a laughing emoji and said, "At least he showed up single." We still text sometimes. Not every day, but when it matters. She calls what we did mutual damage control, and honestly, she's right. Neither of us wanted revenge. Just truth. She's dating again. Says it's going better this time. More honesty, fewer burner phones. As for me, I met someone on a hiking trip in Colorado. Group tour, late summer. Her name's Claire. Sharp, funny, zero tolerance for BS. First night around the campfire, someone asked about worst date stories. I told the short version of what happened with Kelsey. Claire laughed so hard she choked on her cider and almost fell off the log. We've been texting ever since. She sends me photos of her dog in Halloween costumes. I send her new whiskey finds. It's early, but it feels easy. Kelsey's dad still sends me cards. First one came on what would have been our anniversary month. Handwritten. Said, "Thank you for saving us from a lifetime of regrets." I didn't write back, but I kept the card. Her mom blocked me, then unblocked, then blocked again. Weirdly, she still follows my restaurant review page and forgot to unlike a photo I posted last week of a ribeye in Houston. I didn't block her. Let her see what peace looks like. Then last week I got one more text. Unknown number, but I didn't need to guess. "Hope you're well." That was it. I stared at it for maybe 10 seconds. No anger, no sadness, just a quiet shake of the head. I set the phone down, walked into the kitchen, and made coffee. Sometimes silence is the real message. And sometimes the best way to handle betrayal is to invite its biggest witness.